released?
Well, today a so-called leak was revealed to the public in regards to the fourth Smash Bros. Game for the 3DS that's practically being set to launch in Japan in just 3 weeks' time. And a few weeks after that, us North Americans will also get our launch of the game. So like you would expect, before any major games launch, there has to be somebody who gives off some supposed information before its big release. I don't ever believe any of these, and I don't believe this one. The reason I'm doing this video is an explanation as to why I haven't ever really discussed any of these before to an extent. Most of these leaks are just unbelievably phony. Usually their roster's totally photoshopped with a bunch of characters from existing games thrown together and presented as a real roster. Or what they also commonly do is edit a pre-existing render to come up with a new one of their own and always leak, quote-unquote, a screen of a character in the 3DS version. It's usually always the 3DS version, most of the time. You know, there have been screenshots of Wii U leaks before as well, but they're not nearly as abundant, if you will. This screenshot about Jigglypuff and Ness is infamous and was proven fake rather quickly, and it went around a long time ago. I also remember the infamous Palutena leak that was apparently proven fake at some point, though I don't remember it ever being confirmed or denied, and it was puzzling to many of us fans for months. All of these so-called leaks, I haven't ever really given the time of day because I always assume they're made just to get the message boards talking. The flavor of the day, if you will, until they're disproven as nothing more than a bunch of baloney. There's only one leak that I've ever given any sort of time and attention to, and that was the Gematsu leak, but it was all about these correct predictions the leaker was making and how many newcomers he'd gotten correct, which he had only up until recently. Now that leak has lost all of its credibility. And it was the only leak that wasn't an attempt at leaking a screenshot of the game, which all the rest have been, and all of them I've ignored. Until now, that is. In the wee hours this Wednesday morning, a leaker who claimed he had a source from ESRB leaked, apparently, a character and stage selection screen from Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. What did these super duper leaks show, do you ask? Well, the leaker showed a few characters we have not officially seen before, as well as a full screen of selectable stages for the 3DS, as well as a selection between Mii Fighters and roster characters. Who were the so-called leaked characters, you may ask? I'll tell you right now. We'll start off with the veterans. A lot of the usual characters you would suspect. Ness, Jigglypuff, Ganondorf, Falco, Wario, Mr. Game & Watch, Rob. Ugh. I know. Wait. Dr. Mario? Yeah, you heard me right. Dr. Mario. Really, of all people you could have brought back from Melee, you bring back Dr. Mario? A simple alternate costume and nothing more over the only Melee vet that people had any interest in seeing back, like Mewtwo? Yeah, okay. That was one of my initial flags that went up on this thing being total nonsense. The newcomers listed in this leak were pretty interesting in how odd a couple of them were. Two of them were to my delight, if this isn't bogus, such as Bowser Jr. and Shulk, who I have been vocal supporters of for a long while now. The Duck Hunt Dog, which is just an absolutely floored me as a decision with how random it was. And Dark Pit, just to annoy me because we need the clone count in this game to go up. Oh, man. Seriously, Lucina is enough. As much as it is weird, I kind of dig the Duck Hunt Dog. Seriously. And even though I know this may be totally hokey, I wouldn't actually even be mad if he ends up being in the game. Shulk and Bowser Jr. I love as well, so the only newcomer I would dislike from this particular group is Dark Pit, because to me, he seems entirely unnecessary. Especially because, like Dr. Mario, it's a simple alternate costume for Pit that doesn't need to hog up and waste a roster spot. This leak also claims that a few characters will eventually be available for DLC. Again, that sets my bullshit sensors off, as I don't believe downloadable content is something Sakurai would have any interest in doing at all, and the character choices for it are a bit odd as well. Ice Climbers being DLC instead of main roster characters seems really sketchy to me. They've been staples for the series since Melee, so shouldn't they stay that way? Other DLC characters that were listed in this leak were Lucas, Wolf, Snake, and the Chorus Men. Interestingly enough, including the DLC, we have two Gematsu characters present in this whole thing. Huh? But as with every one of these supposed leaked in-game screenshots, I remain completely skeptic on the entire leak itself. For me, nothing can be confirmed until the game is released, and we learn everything about it, or we have the official website unveil something that we previously had no idea about before. I will give credit to where it's due that the artwork for the revealed characters, minus Ganondorf, looks pretty darn amazing, especially if this does end up being an overtly elaborate fake. I mean, that's a pretty amazing duck hunt, dog, no? As always, guys, it would be greatly appreciated if you were to follow me on the Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams of this world. These social media outlets are always a great way of staying connected to me in between all of my YouTube activity. Also, do feel free to drop a comment on this video, drop a comment on my channel, even add me on Skype to discuss all things gaming. You can even request a few ideas that way. Follow me on the Twitter and tweet me at any time. You can also request a few ideas that way too. Always a great decision. On that note, I'm a frequent co-host of the I Got Gameplay podcast for RetroUnlim.com. It airs live every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you all there, and have a good rest of your week, folks.